The unraveling of Teyana Taylor and Iman Shumpert's marriage has moved from private heartbreak to public spectacle, and the most recent courtroom decision adds yet another dramatic chapter to their ongoing saga. Welcome viewers to my channel. Please subscribe, like my video and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next update. Earlier this month, a judge found Taylor in contempt of court and ordered her to pay a significant sum, reportedly $70,000, to her ex-husband to cover his legal expenses. The ruling, handed down after Shumpert argued that Taylor violated the terms of their divorce judgment, is a striking reminder of how quickly family disputes can escalate when layered with fame, money, and social media. According to documents reviewed by Us Weekly, the case hinged on a seemingly simple act: Taylor's decision to upload a video to social media earlier this year. On the surface, it may have looked like just another celebrity post. But the court determined that the video crossed a line and breached the agreement the two had reached when their divorce was finalized in June 2024. The outcome illustrates an often overlooked reality. In the age of digital transparency, even the smallest online misstep can carry enormous consequences. For Taylor, whose artistry has always been defined by openness and self-expression, being penalized for a social media post highlights the tension between personal freedom and legal obligation. The courtroom drama did not begin with this ruling, it has been simmering since the moment the pair decided to part ways. Both Taylor and Shumpert accused each other of contempt of court, each demanding that the other face jail time for their alleged infractions. Such requests may sound extreme, but they are not unusual in high-conflict divorces where emotions run deep and accusations fly freely. Taylor initially pressed hard, filing a motion to have Shumpert held accountable for allegedly leaking sensitive information about their divorce proceedings to the press. For someone like Taylor, whose public image relies on controlling her narrative, the idea that private details were being fed to the media represented a serious violation. Yet when the case reached the judge's desk, her motion collapsed under scrutiny. The ruling was blunt: she and her attorneys had presented insufficient evidence to prove her claim. In unusually sharp language, the court criticized Taylor's team for failing to conduct even a minimal amount of diligence before filing their petition. Legal observers noted that such a public reprimand not only weakens Taylor's credibility but also signals the court's impatience with frivolous or poorly prepared claims. Shumpert, meanwhile, filed his own contempt motion, arguing that Taylor had violated their parenting plan. That request was denied as well, but the court did side with him on one significant point: Taylor's video post did indeed breach the divorce settlement. This gave Shumpert the leverage he needed to argue that she should bear responsibility for his mounting legal bills, a claim the judge ultimately validated with the $70,000 order. The court also took issue with Taylor's refusal to provide information about her assets and income during the proceedings. She reportedly brushed off those questions as irrelevant, but judges tend to view financial transparency as non-negotiable in divorce cases, especially when one party seeks compensation for legal expenses. By refusing, Taylor may have inadvertently strengthened Shumpert's argument that she had the means to pay his fees. In family court, failing to answer can sometimes be more damaging than providing an answer that you'd rather keep private. It creates the perception of withholding, which courts rarely reward. To fully understand the significance of this ruling, one must look back at how the divorce unfolded. Under the final judgment, Taylor was awarded 4 marital properties with a combined value of approximately $10 million, while Shumpert was ordered to make a one-time 7-figure payment to her. He retained ownership of his Miami condo and properties in South Georgia and Decatur. On paper, the settlement was generous to Taylor, leaving her financially secure. But as the most recent ruling demonstrates, the ink on divorce documents doesn't always end disputes, especially when lingering conflicts and public image are at stake. The bitterness of the courtroom clashes stands in stark contrast to the way the couple was once viewed. Taylor and Shumpert weren't just celebrities, they were cultural symbols of modern black love, admired for their authenticity and openness. Their story began with the birth of their daughter, Iman Taylor, in 2015, a year before they married. Their second child, Rose, arrived in 2020. Together, they built a family life that felt both aspirational and relatable. Fans were captivated by their willingness to share intimate glimpses of their home life, their affection for one another, and the joy they found in parenthood. Taylor, with her powerhouse talent and fierce independence, and Shumpert, with his athletic achievements and easy charm, seemed to embody a partnership rooted in both love and respect. Their bond was not only romantic but creative. Shumpert often appeared in Taylor's projects, and together they blurred the lines between personal and professional. For years, they were presented as proof that Hollywood love could last, that two ambitious individuals could lift each other up without losing themselves in the process. But behind the curated images and public displays of affection, there were struggles. In her divorce filing, Taylor admitted to dimming her own light to keep the marriage peaceful. That confession peeled back the glossy veneer and revealed a reality familiar to many: the strain of balancing ambition, marriage, and family. Her words resonated with countless women who had sacrificed parts of themselves to maintain relationships. At the same time, they painted a picture of a marriage in which compromise had tilted into suppression, eroding the very individuality that made Taylor such a magnetic figure. Shumpert, too, faced challenges. After the peak of his NBA career, most notably his championship with the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2016, his professional life transitioned toward entertainment. He found success in ventures like Dancing with the Stars, but the shift away from basketball marked a period of reinvention, one that may have also affected the couple's dynamic. Celebrity divorces are rarely confined to courtrooms. Every filing, ruling, and accusation becomes fodder for headlines, amplified by social media where fans dissect each development in real time. In this environment, privacy is nearly impossible. For Taylor and Shumpert, who had willingly shared so much of their lives during their marriage, the scrutiny feels particularly intense. What once worked in their favor, their openness, now fuels public fascination with their breakup. Every court document and leaked detail becomes part of the larger narrative about who is to blame and who is suffering. The social media post that triggered the contempt ruling perfectly encapsulates this dilemma. For most people, a casual video might be inconsequential. For Taylor, it became a legal landmine. In today's celebrity culture, the line between personal expression and contractual violation is thinner than ever, and Taylor's case is a reminder of how costly crossing that line can be. The $70,000 payment order is significant not only financially but symbolically. For Shumpert, it represents validation, a moment in which the court agreed that Taylor had failed to honor their agreement. For Taylor, it represents both a financial hit and a reputational blow, highlighting a misstep in her handling of the divorce aftermath. And yet, both parties remain bound together by something far more important than money: their daughters. Junie and Rue are growing up in the midst of a highly publicized parental split, and their well-being will depend on whether their parents can eventually find common ground. The Taylor-Shumpert saga is not just about two people. It also reflects broader trends in how celebrity divorces play out in the digital age. Gone are the days when public figures could settle disputes behind closed doors. Today, every motion filed becomes a headline, every social media post a potential exhibit in court. Fans, too, play a role, turning private disputes into public debates. For Taylor and Shumpert, the court of public opinion has been almost as influential as the actual court. Supporters rally behind one or the other, interpreting legal documents through the lens of loyalty and emotion. This is the paradox of celebrity transparency. The very openness that builds fan loyalty can also magnify personal pain when relationships collapse. As Taylor faces the court-imposed deadline to pay $70,000, both she and Shumpert remain at a crossroads. Professionally, they are thriving in different arenas. Taylor is a multi-hyphenate artist whose influence continues to expand. Shumpert is a retired athlete carving out a space in entertainment. Personally, however, their entanglement shows no signs of quieting down. Whether they can eventually shift from adversaries to cooperative co-parents remains the central question. Their daughters deserve stability, but achieving that will require both to let go of the grievances that continue to pull them back into court. For now, what once looked like a fairy tale romance has become a case study in how quickly love stories can turn into legal battles when fame, fortune, and unresolved conflict